Alrighty, here we have Arakni Marionette against Katsu. A game I haven't, or a matchup I haven't played for a while. We won the die roll. Maybe a quick word about my sideboarding. I choose to bring in two Sink Below in favor of the Scar Tissues, but overall we are heavily dagger focused. We want to go aggressive. We want to go fast. We go second. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, maybe there's a scenario where we don't even want to bring in the Sink Below when we go second. But let's hop into the game. This one is fast and furious. And let's see. So they start, our hand, Tarantula Toxin, Bonds of Agony, Shred, Leave No Witnesses. So I don't think this hand is particularly great. I mean, Tarantula Toxin, kind of a pet card of mine. I don't love seeing it go early. Bonds, hard to pull off. Shred, better in the late game. It's pitching maybe. Leave No Witnesses is really good in the graveyard for codex plays. So I'm not really hot on any card here. Maybe we can hold the Leave No Witnesses if we see that they arsenal. So certainly we do want to block for 3 here. Either it's Shred or Bonds of Agony. Doesn't really matter for the Be Like Water. See what comes next. E-Strike. So hopefully that's for 7. They will have an arsenal. Yes, it is. We can make an argument now to leave the to keep Leave No Witnesses in hand to threaten their arsenal. But ultimately, I can also see a world where we just block the whole hand and draw 4 new cards. Leave No Witnesses in graveyard is pretty good. And we don't want to take unnecessary damage here. We certainly don't want to give equipment yet. So I think I'm also going to give the Leave No Witnesses after all and just move on. Draw 4 cards, they have an arsenal. And we draw up. We have Kiss of Death, Orb Weaver Blue, Command and Conquer, and Art of Desire Body. It's a little bit of an awkward hand, but given that they have an arsenal, throwing the Command and Conquer here is really appealing, I believe. So we just need to figure out how we can make this work without having too many cards left over. So basically, I think we are gonna pitch a dagger with the Orb Weaver and then the CNC with the Art of Desire Body, setting the Kiss of Death. Sorry. The Kiss of Death in Arsenal is really good because I assume they're gonna block out the Command and Conquer, but not necessarily the Clave, so we might end the turn with the opponent marked. And then Kiss of Death in Arsenal is really good because we can do some funky stuff. We have the combo potential, right? The Black Widow. So we in fact go for the Hunter's Clave. Let's see if they want to block it. Katsu doesn't like to block. Well, we will flick, right? That was our plan all along. We need to free the slot in case Orb Weaver comes around. There's also a scenario where we want to maybe Mask of Deceit into Orb Weaver if we can't find the card yet. Now we had the blue. That's really not the card we want to play. So yeah, Command and Conquer stresses the opponent a little bit, and it looks like they are blocking out. So this is really good for us. They have 2 cards, and we have a Kiss of Death in Arsenal. So we transform into Tarantula, which, yeah, it doesn't matter here. They are marked, so our Mask of Deceit is online. Their turn is not going to be super strong. Let's see what we have. So we have 3 blues at the After Desire Body. It's also not crazy good. So we have a chance here now to play combo. So let's see what they do. Enlighten Strike for 7. Well, that's pretty cool. And we can block this. So we know what's up here. We can block Mask, go to Black Widow, and then play our combo with Kiss of Death in Arsenal and Snappies, and then attack with another whatever we have, and flick the Kiss of Death again. That's a good play. I think if we discard one to Black Widow, and we may want to keep the Art of Desire body. Yeah, we're at 40 life, so maybe only block Mask here is okay. I'm telling them that I'm thinking a bit. I mean, these are the decisions you gotta make, right? And I'm playing around with this deck for a while, and here we really want to transform into Black Widow. Now, let's see if we can pull off this combo. It's a pretty straightforward line. So we will discard to Black Widow, buffing Kiss of Death, then activate Snapdragon Scalers to get go again, and then on the next chain link we're gonna flick the Kiss of Death for double impact. Alright, so we see no blocks. Arguably a mistake. Maybe not. I mean, probably you should put your whole hand in front here, because you're losing cards anyways and damage. So let's see what's next for us. We have two good options here actually. So we can think about Arsenal, right? Art of Desire body or Persuasive into Arsenal. We certainly will pitch now Under the Trapdoor for Hunter's Clave. And depending what they do, now we flick. And maybe now that if they don't know the combo, they're surprised that they have to discard another card. It's a pretty devastating combo. They discard the Whelming Gust Wave. So 2 cards left in hand. 2 cards left in hand. And I'm gonna do some gambling here. So cleanest is to just play Art of Desire body. This will likely get a card. But I'm going with Persuasive, keeping 1 card in hand, maybe freaking out our opponent, and they don't even put Breaking Scales in front of it. I totally expected a equipment block with a card from hand to not hit, and now something pretty cool for us happened. We banish Bonds of Ancestry from the top. They reveal the hand, Be Like Water, and another Bonds of Ancestry. And yeah, I mean, this card is insane. I've had other matches against Katsu now since it's viable again or legal, where this card just destroyed me. 1 misblock and you're dead. Anyways, we Arsenal the Art of Desire body, and in their turn, they choose to pitch the Be Like Water for the Kodachi, which is questionable. Maybe they're learning the deck, maybe they're tilted, but even putting it in Arsenal seems a better idea, or throwing 3. Anyways, we will certainly not block, and then let's see what we will do with our turn. It's a bit of a interesting hand as well. So what should we do? And I think it comes together really well. We will play the Orb Weaver Spinneret to finally equip our Chelicera. It will buff the next stealth attack with 3. And since Tunic is up, we can use Stains of the Redback to give Persuasive go again. So that's a pretty good line. And then we have a Art of Desire body from Arsenal with Shred as a backup, if that is necessary. But Persuasive for 4 and then buff to 7 is pretty good. Our opponent has seen that before. So that's a line that I want to take note of. It didn't happen so often yet that these cards align in that way. So I think it's really powerful. Persuasive, obviously, very powerful card in Arakni Marionette. So far, haven't had so much success with it, like so much impact, let's say. So they block 1 and 3. We play the buff and importantly give it go again. Banish a card from deck and from hand. So let's see what we got. A red, and then we reveal a Dishonor plus these two, and we choose the Be Like Water. So we know they have the Ancestral Empowerment and the Dishonor in hand. So here I assume they will leave the Glaive unblocked so I can mark, but they in fact give me a 3 block. Great. And then, you know, just give me the last card as well. And to my surprise, they actually let it go through. So we banish the Warmonger's Diplomacy from the top. So no life, no card for us, but we draw up. So quickly, their turn. They only had the Ancestral Empowerment in Arsenal now. So we know that one. And we draw another Art of Desire body, Kiss of Death, up 6 and run, and a D-React. So what we are going to do now is a bit of an awkward situation because we don't have our Snapdragon Scalers anymore. We don't have Go Again. We don't have a really good way of marking unless we flick our last Glaive. So let's see how we play this out. Flicking the Glaive and having up 6 in hand is a bit of, yeah, so we can't re-equip. We also don't have resource cards. So I do believe we will up 6 and run to just buff the Kiss of Death. And see how much they like blocking this. Because damage-wise, this is a very clean 7. If I now flick, it goes to 8 and gets Go Again on hit. So depending on their blocks, we're just gonna lose our Hunter's Glaive. That's a play I really came to not like. It's really hard to mark, and it's essential for us to mark. So really, we need to be careful. Losing our last Glaive. We just saw the up 6 and run, so there's 2 left. And we have 44 cards that we can draw from. So this is, you know, I'm emphasizing on my position right now. I'm pushing really hard. They're on 21, we're on 38. And they don't block, right? So I'm pushing, and I have a follow-up with Art of Desire body. And I can flick the Kiss of Death again. Oh no, I just flicked the Glaive, so I can't. It's another play. I flick too little. I flick too little my daggers, and I flick my Kiss of Death not often enough, so I really want to make sure I do. We arsenal the trap, and we know they still have, in their arsenal is the Ancestral Empowerment, and then 3 fresh cards. So we don't have a great blocking hand. Ideally, we keep all of this. Use the trap. Yeah, 2 codexes is a bit awkward. Not having a Glaive is a bit awkward here. But let's see. I hope we don't have to block too much. So they're thinking a bit, and they play a card I have to read because I haven't seen it yet. Gust Wave of the Second Wind. Notably, doesn't have Go Again. And I'm thinking, no Go Again. So we could block Codex. The Breeze Rider boots, I'm double checking. They only work when an attack hits. You can get give combo cards Go Again. So we block 2, we have 3 in Arsenal. We know they have the Ancestral. Hope they don't draw another one. But we have a clean block and we even mark them, which is crazy. Which is absolute. I mean, crazy good. Fantastic. So opponent is marked. Turn is stuffed. They have 3 cards left in hand. That's a bit of a interesting situation. And now this hand plays itself. So we double Savor into Codex into Kiss of Death. And that's a pretty solid turn. Since they're marked, if I hit, it gets go again. We draw 2 cards. We can Graphene and flick the Kiss of Death, or follow up with whatever I draw. Maybe a Command and Conquer, or let's see. So yeah, they are 12. I'm threatening 12. So you better block here, opponent. They block 3. Oh, that's it? Only 3? Wait a minute. So we pass reactions. We get the first draw trigger from Savor. The second one, unfortunately, only blues, but they are also on 3 right now. The trigger is still on the stack of Kiss of Death hitting, so they're actually at 2. And that means if I attack with anything after and flick Kiss of Death, because they're now at 2, I would deal 1 damage and they lose a life. And that could be game, unless they, let's say, have a shelter now. But it's looking pretty good here, pretty clean, and we executed our cards really well. I'm quite happy with these turn cycles and the decisions we made. Let's see if they choose to block. You're at 2, this comes for 1. They don't block. We flick. GG. And yeah. So if we look at our stats here, this was a rather short 5-turn game. We have a 15.2 average value, which is very strong in my opinion. I haven't gotten to that high numbers all the time. In fact, I also just lost the game against Katsu, so this is by no means saying, oh my god, we roll over Katsu. But this means if we go second and if we can present good and efficient damage and on hits and lots of disruption, MVP here I think is Persuasive Prognosis and our combo line that we played earlier. That can, yeah, snowball into something really that looks like this. And yeah, so let me know if you have any feedback, comments, or questions. Put them in the comments below. Thanks for now and see you later. Bye bye.